This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Yeah, I've got a little ice thing back here, just so you know what the hell that is. I don't know, my shoulder feels really tight, sore back there. Kind of where the scar is. So there you go. Oh, I put a bigger version of the I don't know if you can see it up there, the suspect, bridge guy, whatever the hell you want to call him. See how he's moving on top of that other thing, and it's more vertical, so that's how we'll have that playing up there. Of course, now it's gonna move that over a little bit, I guess. Although that number isn't good, so well, the numbers are good, but the passcode isn't good. Yeah, so there you go. Good night, Audra. Everybody put out good wishes for her. She's going to be going get some tests done here pretty soon on the 15th. You can do it, Audra! Oh, you like the red? Yeah. Curious Georgia always liked the red too. If you're out there, Curious Georgia, I'm wearing the red just for you. Yeah. We just did the bath for the dogs, the flea bath. That's the first actual bath Chloe's had. She's had ones where, you know, you get her wet, and this time the whole bathtub had water in it, and she was like, you know how they do that shit. And then she had like 4 or 5 fleas floating up. And then now we have the thing to put on her collar, on her skin there. That liquid. You know, I should make a GIF of this guy. Just a GIF of the animation, I guess. Maybe I'll try to do that tomorrow, and then you guys can spread it around out there. Well, how's everybody doing? Yeah. Well, she was already feeling good. I don't even know if she noticed. She wasn't even scratching or doing anything. Or itchy. Hey, Chloe. Go get it, Chloe. She's like, screw you. But they're both napping together on the same bed. And when Chloe was having her bath, Blue was running over, checking in on her all the time. All right. So here we go. I was thinking I'm going to do this one first. I don't know if it was Dadio who sent me this one or whoever sent it, but there's this thing going on in Texas right now. The killer escaped to Texas. But let me load this sucker up.
Tonight, authorities are searching for a violent attacker on the run. Last night, sheriff's deputies in Liberty County say they responded to a 911 call at a home. When they got there, they found a woman chained to a bed and outside the body of another woman who had been shot and burned. Here's Matt Doherty.
This was last night at the Rancho San Vicente subdivision in Liberty County, where officers showed...
I mean, one of the problems I'm having is they're saying Rancho San Vicente right there. However, they're giving out that address of CR 415, and then you can see, well, this is an old satellite image, so if you go to the current satellite image, I think it's in this neighborhood, and maybe they're considering that part of the same subdivision, but it's 5 miles away. I just don't really know what they're... I couldn't find the exact spot based on what they gave me.
Up to a nightmare. When Liberty County Sheriff's deputies got to the home, they found a woman chained to a bed with a rope tied around her neck. In the woods across the street, officers found a burned car. Inside was the body of a woman who'd been shot.
So apparently, well, here, the story is that these two friends, they used to clean this guy's home, and he threatened them, saying, "Hey, I've got lewd pictures of you guys. You have to come over and get them." And then when they got there, he pulled out a gun and then sexually assaulted one. And I guess the other girl escaped, ran out to the car. Then she crashed the car. Then he apparently went out and shot her, then lit the car on fire. And then he escaped to Mexico.
Deputies say 59-year-old Jose Marin Soriano employed the women as housekeepers. Authorities say he got them to the home last night through blackmail, claiming he had lewd pictures of one of them. Deputies say when the women arrived, Soriano pulled out a gun, chained one of the women to a bed, and raped her. The other tried to escape, but only made it across the street. As of last update, the woman who was sexually assaulted is being treated at a hospital. Matt Doherty, KHU 11 News.
Isn't that crazy?
The other top story tonight, the search for justice in the death of Houston Police Sergeant Sean Rios.
Not sure.
One person has been arrested and faced a...
Let's see. So when officers arrived, the caller was found with a rope tied around her neck and her ankle chained to the bed. Deputies also reported finding a burning car outside the house with a woman inside. Investigators said the caller had been sexually assaulted at gunpoint after coming to the home with a friend, and they both had cleaned it before, working for the guy. Hey, thanks, Amy Higg. And yes, again, everybody, raising funds for my channel and the charities that we donate to. We're up to $18,000.
Hi, Freak Family and Great. Check paper.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, okay, we'll check it out. Just a second. Sheikh Pay. That's a new voice for you guys, by the way. Oh, thank you very much. Amy Higg with a cat eye donation over there. Thank you very much. Yeah. So anyways, you guys got a new voice to listen to. The victims were lured to the home through blackmail. Soriano allegedly told the deceased victim he had lewd pictures of her and promised to delete them if she came to the house. Well, why would they go over there? That just is so... God, really? If you come over, I'll delete them? Well, what did he get out of that? Why didn't he just delete them before? You knew something was going to be happening. At some point during the incident, investigators said one woman escaped. So the other girl that died probably just... That was the insurance policy. Like, well, if I bring a friend, nothing's going to happen. However, as she was backing out, she crashed into a wooded area across the street. So she tried to get out, backed out, crashed into a wooded area. Investigators said the woman chained inside was able to call for help, probably when he went outside to shoot her, and then he bailed, right? So was able to call inside the home using the suspect's cell phone, which he had left behind while fleeing the scene. The surviving victim was taken to the hospital where she is being treated and examined. Hey, thanks, Moose Gus. Oh yeah, let's see. I don't even know what, I can't remember what language I picked for it. Let's see.
Curious to know how she says gray and gris, ansikte med glädjetårar, ansikte med glädjetårar, ansikte ger en slängkyss.
Slaying shit? What do you mean you're slaying shit? That's gross. Yeah, I'm not sure what language that one is. But I think it actually tries, it says these, oh wait, that's what it said. It said, face blowing a kiss. So it must have translated that. Yeah. Yeah, man, this is crazy, though. The surviving victim was taken to the hospital where she's being treated and examined. Okay, so Liberty County Sheriff's Captain Billy Knox has updated the information on murder suspect Jose Marin Soriano. According to reliable information received by investigators, Jose Soriano crossed over the border into Mexico shortly after the murder. The apprehension phase of this investigation has been turned over to the U.S. Marshal Office while working closely with the Liberty County Sheriff investigators and the Mexican authorities. The investigation is ongoing as Soriano's whereabouts in Mexico are unknown at this time. So the original story was a frantic 911 call to the Liberty County Sheriff's dispatcher at approximately 6:12 p.m. this evening by a female caller who said she was chained to a bed while her friend was killed in a car outside the residence on CR 3415. Sent deputies to the scene where they found a female deceased in a burned out vehicle across the road from the residence. The deputies also found another female chained at the ankle and a rope tied around her neck inside the house located in the Rancho San Vicente subdivision in North Liberty County. Lead Sheriff's investigator Sean Mitchell and Ann Mitchell began piecing the information together in the very early stages of the investigation after reviewing the female who had been chained to the bed. According to preliminary information, it appears that both women worked at cleaning houses for 59-year-old. So I guess they cleaned houses for him. Worked at cleaning houses for 59-year-old Jose Marin Soriano, who lives at the residence. I think they cleaned his house. I don't know if they worded that right. It is reported that Soriano had been revealing photos, or had some revealing photos of the deceased female, and he told the victim that he would delete the photos if she would meet him at his home this evening. It is unknown if Soriano took the photos or if the deceased sent the photos to him at some point. I mean, how do you even know? Well, I guess they actually have his cell phone, I believe. So perhaps those images are actually are on the phone. Where? No, that's the bot. What do you mean? I have one of those Streamlabs bot type thing. What's up, freaks? Yeah. The deceased female is not being identified until the next of kin has been notified. Let's see, he fled the scene in a gray Ford pickup truck, and it also appears that Soriano is armed and could be dangerous. Well, of course he is. Investigators consider him to be a public safety threat, and he should not be approached. And then it sounds like he got away at one point. So that's where the car was when it was burnt out. Back in there. I wonder who that guy is. Hey, thank you, Sapphire.
Thanks for all you do at the end of the month. Gray, rött hjärta.
Cool. Well, what about the rest of the month? No, thank you very much. That's that same thing. Hey, you look nice today. What do you mean I only look nice today? What about the other days? Yeah. Yeah, crazy voice, huh? All right. Anyways, I want to move on from that story. It's gonna be a long time, I would imagine. Although Mexico probably doesn't want a guy like that in their country either. Took a long time in the was it what case was that? The nurse, not the nurse, the dental hygienist, the dentist that was murdered in Dallas. Took a long time to I mean, the names are just right in the top of my head. I just can't remember. Yeah, I don't know what those are. It doesn't really matter. It's just a voice. What was it? Hold on. Oh, Kendra Hatcher. That's right. And that was my stomach after I drank water. Kendra Hatcher was that story. And then Brenda Delgado was the one that went to Mexico. And it took like a year for her to be apprehended and brought back. Because once they go there, they won't extradite you unless you take the death penalty off the table. And since this was in Texas, he would most likely get the death penalty for what he did there. So then he goes to Mexico, and then if he's extradited, they'll take death penalty off the table as a condition of returning him. And that's just something they know to do. Okay.
Tonight, authorities are searching for a violent...
Yeah, so this one is John Greenwood and Gary Miller. They're two people that were murdered in the UK. And let me just go over this one. So way back, this is clear back in 1981 here. It's actually 1980, but this is an article that I found. This is one of those nightmare scenarios in terms of an arrest and a conviction and that kind of thing. A man accused of murdering two schoolboys claimed that he began hitting them after they made fun of him, a court heard yesterday. He allegedly told police that he hit the boys when they called him names, swore at him, and accused him of knocking off a married woman. John Cheeseman, age 20. And by the way, you don't want to be named John Cheeseman, because while looking up John Cheeseman, there was like 10 other crimes committed by John Cheeseman. And believe it or not, I found a Gray Hughes. I just said, let me see if my name's out there. And there was actually a Gray Hughes, and the guy like makes some kind of pumpkin pie drink. But it was weird. John Cheeseman, age 20, unemployed milk roundsman of Hughes Avenue, coincidentally. Prescott, Marysville, denies murdering John Greenwood and Gary Miller, both 11, who were found dying last summer on a rubbish tip near their homes in Raleigh Avenue. Chief Inspector Ernest Kelly of Maryside CID told Liverpool Crown Court yesterday that he interviewed Cheeseman on the 18th of August, 2 days after the boys were found. He told police that he had gone to the rubbish tip with the boys to look for bicycle parts. Interviewed by Mr. Kelly, he said he hit John Greenwood because he and Gary Miller made fun of him. In a statement to police, Cheeseman allegedly said, they started to call me names, John and his mate. They started swearing at me, and I then started to hit them. They carried on calling me the F word and calling me names, so I started to hit them again. Then I thought one of them was dead. He stopped breathing. Then I listened to his heart. Then I got a piece of rope and put it around his neck. I thought the other one was dead. He wasn't breathing. He was unconscious. In the early interview with Mr. Kelly, Cheeseman allegedly said, I don't like anyone who swears at me, he added. They got up at first, and I pushed them down again. I keep pushing them, and they didn't get up again. He kept banging them back on the ground. He listened to their hearts and put a piece of rope around John Greenwood's neck and pulled it tight, but did not do this to the other boy because he thought he was dead. Thanks, Carolina Carla. Yeah. Mr. Kelly said he asked Cheeseman if he realized that John Greenwood died as a result of what he did, and he allegedly replied, yes, I'm sorry. Anyways, so they seem to have got the guy back in 1981, and then 5 days later, subnormal man cleared of murdering boys. So that was after they already had arrested him and everything. That was like trial information. He'd been arrested a long time, about a year before. An unemployed milkman was yesterday cleared of murdering 2 schoolboys on a rubbish tip. Gary Miller and John Greenwood, both 11, were found dying under a mattress on a rubbish tip near their homes in Raleigh Avenue, Whiston. The main evidence against Mr. John Cheeseman, 20, was that he confessed to the murders in a statement to the police, which he later retracted. But his counsel, Mr. Bennett Heitner, QC, told Liverpool Crown Court that the police had not followed a Home Office directive. It almost sounds a little bit like, they didn't interrogate him correctly, I guess. This stated that where practical, the subnormal, like Mr. Cheeseman, should have a parent or guardian with them when they're being interviewed. Well, how do you know that, though, when you're doing it? His father was with him for the first 2 interviews, and also when he made a statement, but he was not there when Mr. Cheeseman first allegedly told police he had been involved in the killings. So it's a little bit like a Miranda deal. 5-day trial heard there was no forensic evidence to link Mr. Cheeseman with the killings. Several people said they had seen him in Winston around the time he was supposed to have committed the killings. About 1,000 people who lived near the Cheeseman home on Hughes Avenue signed a petition after his arrest supporting him and calling for his release on bail. John Cheeseman said later, I'm very happy. I just want to go now and be with my mom, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then anyways, now we've got this article that came out. This is actually February this year, though. Detectives probing the unsolved murder of 2 11-year-old boys want to quiz their original suspect from 40 years ago for a second time but they are legally not allowed. The killings of childhood friend John Greenwood and Gary Miller shocked the nation on August 16, 1980, after they were found severely beaten and dumped on a rubbish tip in Winston. The murder remains at large for 4 decades later. But in a dramatic new twist, police are desperate to re-question John Cheeseman. Then 20, he was put on trial in 1981 for both tragedies, but was acquitted after serious criticisms were leveled at Maryside police over how they obtained his confession. Nobody else has ever been charged over the boys' murders, which saw their badly injured bodies hidden under a mattress on the disused colliery site. Now, armed with new evidence, police are keen to arrest Mr. Cheeseman again. Probably they have, I bet you anything they have forensic DNA type evidence at this point, and ask him about the killings. But due to the current double jeopardy law, officers are prohibited from doing so after that move was barred by the Director of Public Prosecutions. Detectives, I always thought over in Europe you could keep trying them over and over again. At least they could in Italy, I know that. It's just... detectives went to the top London lawyer last March, but it was deemed their newly compiled evidence was not compelling enough. That has frustrated senior figures within Maryside Police, who today, in a rare move, announced they were urging for a change in the double jeopardy law. So they must have something. Doesn't that suck, though? Because now he was freed, and they can't try him again, but they had the right guy the whole time. And you remember all those it sounds like they have the right guy. And he had all those thousands of self-righteous people that just know him better than everybody else. Yeah, Mr. Cheeseman from Prescott had learning difficulties and was said to have the mental age of a 10-year-old, but there was no appropriate lawyer or guardian in his interview, so that's one of the kids that was killed. Double jeopardy laws were introduced in England over 800 years ago. So I guess they've had it just a few years before we had it here in the United States. Yeah. They lost 8 pints of blood, it says. Brutally murdered on a council tip. Lost 8 pints of blood between them. I think that's like half their blood in both their bodies. Beaten about the head. Yet forensic scientists could find no trace of blood or a scrape of evidence to link a youth to the killings, the jury has been told. So that's the guy. There it is right there. John Cheeseman, 20. Firstly, 2 boys are thought to be attacked a month before the killings. A witness had claimed they'd seen those boys. That's a different incident. Anyways, I don't want to go through the whole thing. I mean, the whole that's basically the story. It's like, what a nightmare. I mean, you got this guy that's likely the killer, but can never be charged again. It's one of the things I don't really like about our double jeopardy law. It should be you can't be tried again unless there is absolute, overwhelming information that changes the dynamic. Because it doesn't allow for advancements, for example. Don't you think? I mean, I don't like the idea that you can just keep trying somebody over and over and over again. But maybe it should be for, capital cases, something like that. Capital cases, and even if they're acquitted, you have to, I don't know how to do it, because then you could just keep investigating. But if something came forward later on, like all of a sudden there's a videotape of you literally killing the person. It seems like there should be a way to overturn the double jeopardy if it wasn't something, I don't know. It's almost like it has to come forward without you seeking to get it. Because if you just keep investigating something, then it's just, you know, if they're innocent, their life just keeps being disrupted and disrupted. I don't know. It'd be no, it's not like that at all. Here's the way it works, everybody. Like Scott Peterson, for example, if he had became innocent, right after they said, you are innocent of all charges, and the gavel, whatever the hell, just right then, he could immediately said, you suckers, I did kill him. And nobody can do a damn thing. Doesn't that suck? Yeah. Yeah, so that's actually how it works. Well, thanks, Katie, too. Yeah, well, OJ is different because, you know, he said if I did it, right? Which, well, here's how I would have done it, and it's exactly what I did. Yeah, it feels like, though, if there's some new technology that comes forward, I don't know, I'm back, I think, now. I don't know what the deal is. My screen just went dark again. It's done that a couple times. Yeah, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. No idea what's going on, but it's done it before. Yeah. Now I have to get things set up again. Hold on. I think it was the super chats were so low that that YouTube shut it down. It just said, "Oh wow," you know. Or maybe it was that damn voice that came on. Man, look how many people bailed because that happened. That's crazy, right? There was like 100 and something people watching, and then all of a sudden, now there's 85. Yeah, I know, but I've had this particular thing happen to me a few times in the last month, where it just sort of goes, everything just turns dark, and then it sort of reboots itself. It's strange. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Zozo. Oh yeah, now YouTube's gonna work just fine. Yeah. Oh, you have to load crap up again. Yeah. Yeah, so we were just talking about the case. I don't know what you guys were talking, what part you heard, but what I was saying is that you know, Jodi Arias, for example, really obvious, right? If you know, given the fact that we have a lot of really stupid people in society, and you know, a lot of people believe a lot of dumb, stupid shit, Jodi Arias could have been deemed innocent, right? And then 3 seconds later, she would have went, I did it, man. I remember everything. He was crawling on the ground. I jumped on his back. I slit his throat, and I stabbed him a bunch of times, and I dragged him down the hall, put him in the shower. And nobody could do a damn thing. Isn't that sad? I think that's crazy. Because you only get one bite at the apple, as they say. Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand double jeopardy. I think it shouldn't apply to certain, like, let's see, capital crimes. I don't think it's cool at all for, look at the FBI does this all the time. They'll keep investigating somebody over and over, and they get really deep into their life. Like look what they did to, something like General Flynn and stuff. I mean, just over and over again. That's not really double jeopardy. It's just this. That's how it would be continually for somebody. Their whole life, every day, they just keep looking at them over and over again. So there's got to be a time where there's a resolution. Okay? But what I was just saying is if there's some new technology that comes out that actually proves it, so that maybe it should be another disposition like innocent with a chance to, I don't know. God, it'd be cool if right before sentencing, you could get sort of an idea of where the jury was leaning, and you could say, we drop charges. And then you keep it available for the future. And that maybe there needs to be a time frame where, I don't know. I totally get why there's double jeopardy. That's the thing. See, I get why there is. It's just so frustrating that it exists, right? I mean, yeah. Thanks, LM. As in Element Open. She's part of the Decabet. With you guys got to go check that one out. Dan Aykroyd, the Decabet. Element Open. As in Element Open a letter. So there we go with that one. And then we also have, let's see, Bethany Markowski case. This is out of Tennessee. And this is just a missing person. I hadn't heard of it, so I figured we could go over some of the newspaper clippings over the years. This happened in 2001. All right, so here we go. Jackson police continued searching Monday for an 11-year-old girl who was last seen by her father at Old Hickory Mall on Sunday afternoon. Some of this stuff sounds really dodgy, though. Bethany Leanne Markowski of Nashville was last seen at 2:30 p.m. Sunday by her father, Larry Markowski of Gleason, in the mall parking lot as she headed inside to look around, according to the Jackson Police Department. Larry Markowski told police he awoke at 3:30, so all of a sudden he's just asleep there, p.m. after a nap in his car, and discovered that Bethany had not returned yet. Markowski went in to look for his daughter and couldn't find her. He noticed mall security at 5:15 p.m. Mall security began to search for her along with retail employees, said Chief Rich Staples, whose office was notified at 6:05 p.m. and joined the search. We are investigating it as a missing child, Staples said. Bethany's mother, Joni Markowski, drove to Jackson from Nashville to help with the search. She stayed overnight Sunday and headed back to Nashville Monday afternoon to get more clothes and handle a few personal matters. On her way back, she is publicizing her daughter's disappearance. My sister and I are stopping at all truck stops and putting up flyers of her. The Markowskis recently divorced, and Larry had Bethany last weekend for his second visitation, said Joni Markowski, who has custody of Bethany. Larry told police he met his wife's sister at the Interstate 40 exit for Waverly pickup, for Waverly to pick up his daughter for the weekend. They went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and returned to his home in Gleason
late Sunday morning. They drove all night to Gleason, stayed for a little while, and then drove to Jackson, Staples said. He was supposed to return the child to her mother by 5 o'clock. Obviously, they didn't make it. Police searched the mall again Monday. Other distinguishing features about Bethany is that she had freckles on her face and doesn't have her molar teeth. Johnny Markowski teases her daughter about having a grin like a donkey because she doesn't have any back teeth. Okay. She's just really pretty, and she's got freckles on her face, and she bites her fingernail, Markowski said, in between soft sobs. Yep, so then the next day, missing girl's parents suspect each other. And boy, that's really helpful. Although you got to admit that's a little dodgy. Like, you go to a mall and you take a nap, and then I don't know. While police are intensifying their efforts to find a girl who apparently vanished from Old Hickory Mall on Sunday, each of the girl's estranged parents suspect the other one of being involved in her disappearance. The FBI and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation have joined the Jackson Police Department's search for 11-year-old Bethany Leanne Markowski. The girl is about 4 feet 8 inches tall and 95 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. She was last seen wearing a green shirt, blue jeans, and black shoes. Police say they have interviewed both parents and heard their suspicions. We are aware of allegations that both of the girl's parents have made, and certainly we are taking them seriously, but we have not dismissed. I mean, how would the mother have anything to do with it? She just went to the mall and somehow randomly knew that they were at the mall, or what? I mean, the girl's father, Larry Markowski, told police he last saw Bethany about 2 p.m. Sunday as she was headed into the mall while he took a nap in the parking lot. I mean, I want to know if anybody saw her in the mall. When Larry Markowski awoke about 2 hours later, he just took a nap for 2 hours. He searched for but could not find his daughter and called Jackson police at 6 p.m. Bethany's mother, Johnny Markowski, was in Jackson on Tuesday to put up posters about her daughter's disappearance around town. She was accompanied by her sister, Lori Jackson. The couple is going through a contentious divorce and has battled over custody of Bethany, Jackson said. Johnny Markowski has temporarily been awarded primary custody, or Joni, with Larry Markowski allowed to spend every other weekend with his daughter. That's one of the things I hate. When it's usually a woman, she gets the custody of, so don't be the one that goes, well, that's not true in my case. Listen, 99% of the time, the woman gets custody, and then it turns out where the guy doesn't really get to see the person that much. And it must make them so angry, especially since I bet you anything that Larry had to send in child support money, right? How much you want to bet Larry had to send child support money, yet he only got to see a child once every 2 weeks? See, that's the part I don't like at all. And you can see why that makes people really, really angry. However, a lot of times how often do they give joint custody of kids? It doesn't seem like it's that often. And in this case, he didn't get joint custody, so and it's only every other 2 weeks. It's not supervised, though. So it's not like he did something that was outlandish. You mean they always get joint custody now? I don't know about that. No, 50-50 is now court. What does that even mean? You're saying that almost every time now it's joint custody and nobody owes child support? Oh, cool. Man, I hope that's the way it is. I think child support is one of the craziest. It's something that I mean, I know they're looking out for the benefit of the child, but at the same time, it creates so much anger and animosity. Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe anybody who says it's almost all the time now it's 50-50. I don't buy it at all. Yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes that's because they don't want to pay it, LM. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. They don't want to pay it, so they'll do something before the child's even born. Yeah. Because they don't want to pay any of it. I mean, if you just think about it for a second. I mean, here's the thing is there's deadbeat dads out there. I think more dads out there, though, would be willing to pay money, and probably more money than they were told to pay, if they got to choose in their own mind, like, hey, what does the kid need? Okay, great. And I'd also like to see a documentation of what the money was spent on. Like if you send $1,000, every nickel of that needs to go to the power bill and all that. If you go out and get a jacket for yourself or anything, forget it. It needs to be itemized and every month and sent in. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Brianna. You sound like just clueless. Yeah. So I think that the child support, it's too large. My dad, for example, here's the thing. My father didn't pay any child support for us, and literally he paid $100 for 3 kids, and he missed paying it. My mom had him put in jail sometimes, and you know, it was just, the thing is we made it without the guy. Okay, it would have been totally easier, all that stuff would have been completely easier, but I just think that it's really sucks the way it works. It used to be, I don't know how it was before, but the way it worked before was that if you owed $1,000 in child support, it counted as a debt against you, as if it was a credit card payment. And that's not fair at all. Does anybody think that that's fair? That like if you owed $1,000 a month child support, it should count on your credit report as if it's a $1,000 a month car payment. That's totally bogus. And then the woman who gets the $1,000 gets to count it as income. So let's say before they got divorced, they both made $4,000 a month. She's now making $5,000 and he's making $3,000. Just right off the bat like that. My husband, it was none of his business what she spent. Well, I think that's lame. Yeah, I think that, I think when you send in that kind of money, the $950 or $1,000, it needs to be itemized what you spent it on. Because it shouldn't just be like, oh, it's discretionary income to do whatever the hell you want to do with. It should all go to the kid, right? That's what it's for. It wasn't alimony. It's child support. So I think it should, every single nickel of that money should go to the kid. What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know, there's some weird things out there. I know there's a lot of women that they didn't get child support, or they get child support and they're angry when I bring this stuff up, because I'm not like totally against it, but I think it should be not sought after so readily, and you should see if the guy would just be willing to pay for all the different things that the kid, you know, does he want to take karate lessons? Does he need clothing? Does he need this and that? And I think they would be so willing, most men. Now, there might be other situations where those people need to pay it and have it taken out of their checks because they're just not going to do it. Well, good. I'm glad there's people that do it that way. That's the best way to do it. I don't know. I just try to bring up stuff that seems reasonable instead of just, oh, this is the way it is, everybody. Let's not talk about it ever again. You know? Seems like that's how it is. That's how that girl up above was, Brianna was trying to say. God, you sound so angry. No, I don't owe child support. As a matter of fact, I'm always... It doesn't matter. Yeah, work as a team, you know? Exactly. Don't try to make... And don't pit your kid against one of the parents. Like, oh, yeah, he sucks, you know? Yeah, that's pretty obvious, Zozo, you know? I mean, those kind of comments. It's just not like that. It's like way, you know, it just seems like a lot of times it isn't 50-50. I don't know, you guys are saying most of the time it is now. I haven't seen that. Because if it's 50-50, there's no child support being paid, right? Yeah, why is that, Zoza? Why don't the fathers have any rights over there? It's a little bit like over here, to be honest with you. They have no rights. Once somebody's pregnant, they have no rights anymore. At that exact moment in time. They don't get to have any choice on whether to have the child. They don't have any choices on any other matter after that. They just have to do what the courts say. Jeez. That sucks. God. Have to fight in court to see your kids. Okay, if that wasn't to me, that's cool. Sorry about that. That's okay, Brianna. Yeah, I've seen you in here before, and I never thought you were like mad or. Okay, sorry about that. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, well, what LM said up there is true. See, lately, you get these murders where somebody's pregnant, and they don't want the child, and then they end up killing the woman because they don't want to have to deal with it. You know, which is absolutely ludicrous. But that's what people do. So the thing is be prepared. I think if you have somebody that's like that just doesn't want you to have the kid or anything like that, they don't want to be in it, and you want to have it, then be prepared to take care of it on your own. Because if you don't take care of it on your own, and you force that guy that didn't even really want the child at all to pay child support, it is going to be a nightmare for you for the entire 18 years. It is going to be a nightmare. That person will not make it easy. It'll be something you're always focused in on. Just figure out how to do it on your own. You guys are all strong out there. You can do it. I swear to God. You know? Because does anybody out there think it goes smoothly when the dad didn't want the child whatsoever? You know, the actual... I wouldn't even call him a dad. He's just the guy somebody had sex with. Yeah, it never does. It's crazy. So why go through all that? Just tell the guy, listen, I'll take care of the child. Have him sign some documents that waives all rights and move on. You can do it. There's the problem is the courts are out there that don't care that you made the deal. And if you ever have hard times, they're going to force that guy. But man, you got to figure out a way to just not do it. Because that guy, there's psychos out there, and they're going to make a deal. They're not going to make a deal. They're going to make a big deal out of it. No, it's not called that, Claire. Everybody always uses that to get out of the conversation. Okay, what it is once a woman's pregnant, a guy has no rights. Okay, and the way to make it equal would be to have what I've called on the show before. A lot of people don't like it, but I call it a legal abortion. You know, that's a stupid word to call abortion. But the guy, he doesn't want it, and he gets to make choices too. He can sign a document that says, I acknowledge that you are going to have a child, but I am taking no legal responsibility for it. I do not want the child. It is up to you to take care of the child, and it's absolutely binding. He signs it. He can never see the child. It's as if he doesn't exist, and you have to take care of it. And that would solve the problem where there's probably many instances out there where there's a guy who the girl gets pregnant, and he wants the child, right? But then she says, no, I don't want it, and he gets no choices at all. So to make it fair, that's how you would do it. Yeah, it doesn't, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't really exist unless the woman allows him to do it, Rebecca. So I think he should be able to sign it regardless. It should be his choice, a right to choose. Okay, there you go. Yeah, if it's the right to choose, have it be on both sides. There you go. Since he can't choose to force you to have a child when he wanted it and you didn't, then he gets to be able to choose to not have any responsibility for it. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. My daughter does just support her kids all herself, but it sure stinks that he can just skate off and have, well, but doesn't it also stink that she can just abort the child even if he wanted it, Danita? That's the only way to make it fair, but it doesn't work like that, right? Like Sapphire said. Nobody has the power to stop. Yep, that's it. That's what they always think. Oh, the kid suffer. But the way to make the kid not suffer is to not put the kid in a volatile situation. Okay? Let's figure out how, that might be part of the decision-making process that the mother has. Like, whoa, do I want to, if since the right to choose is out there, that's part of the choice, right? Oh, here we go with the birth control part again. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about after conception, everybody. Yeah, it's just the way to get out of the conversation with that when people make that statement. Hey, wear a condom. Don't have sex. Don't do that. Well, listen, okay? Once a woman's pregnant, how do you make it fair for both sides where they both have the same rights? Well, that's exactly what I just said. The right to choose on both sides. No, his choice is after she's pregnant. That's when the choices begin. It's her choice too, right? I just don't agree with those kind of comments. Hey, Jason. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I just think it's something to think about. The reason I think about it a lot more is because of all the violence that exists out there because of it. I mean, if I had listen, you guys, how much money do you think you guys would all have if you got $1 for every case that we talk about that ends up a pregnant woman's killed by the father of the child that was inside of her at the time she was killed? I think we'd all be retired at this point. Hey, Brianna, how about this? I'll just do the show the way I want to do it. I don't need your input on trying to sort of steer me forward, how something was beat to death or any of that kind of stuff. All right? Cool, all right? Just make comments related to what we're talking about, not what you feel about the show. Oh, we've beat this one dead. Okay. Can we move on? Yeah, I'll move on exactly when I feel like it. Isn't that great? Right. Yeah, I was right in the middle of discussing a case, by the way. I was about to get off of it, but whenever I see somebody make a comment like that, it just doesn't go well. Doesn't go well for me. It's probably not the channel for you either. I would go check somebody else out that caves into the demands of people watching. Hey, Gray, can we... Hey, listen. Oh, I really like that comment. That was fantastic. What a great comment. Oh, that's incredible. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay? I just do my show and we go over cases, and sometimes I veer off track for a couple minutes, talk about something else, and that's just the way it's going to be. All right? Awesome. So, yeah, we were talking about this Bethany Markowski case, right? Okay, well, if you're just in a mood, that's fine, but I don't need to, just kind of check yourself a little bit. There goes the flow. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Anyways, I'm going to skip forward. I mean, basically over the years, let me move forward to the 2011 article. After 10 years, search for Bethany continues. This is in 2011. She hasn't shown up still, and I guess there was an article that came out. Yeah. And I'm just going to read this article, and maybe that'll give us since this is from 2019. All right, so let's see. Johnny Carter told Dateline that her daughter Bethany Markowski had a big heart and a big personality to go with it. Bethany also had a little sort of attitude, her mother said, but she was very selfless and thought about people all the time. Johnny would, or I don't know if that's, what do you call that? Do you think that's Johnny, but just a female, or Joni, or... Anyways, Johnny would never see Bethany grow to be an adult or even a teenager. On Sunday, March 4th, 2001, the 11-year-old vanished. I'm kind of skeptical about the whole mall incident unless you can tell me there was witnesses that saw her in the mall. You know? At the time of Bethany's disappearance, Johnny said she and Bethany's father, Larry Markowski, were going through a divorce. She and Bethany had moved a couple hours away from family home in Gleason, Tennessee, to live with Johnny's sister in Nashville. Okay. Bethany's father, Larry, had been granted court-ordered visitation rights to see Bethany, Johnny said. He was allowed weekend visits and phone calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I mean, what a joke. Really? You can only call on specific days? Man. Johnny said that because she had a personal restraint... Okay, now maybe this is why that would happen. Okay, they didn't say that in the original articles. Johnny said that because she had a personal restraining order against Larry, she could not drop Bethany off with him on weekends. Oh, wait, she had one... No, against Larry. Okay, so she couldn't go near him. So on Friday, March 2nd, 2001, Johnny said her sister Bethany, or her sister Bethany's aunt, took Bethany and dropped her off with her father for the weekend. So okay, that makes sense. So Johnny's sister picked her up and drove her to see her dad because there was a restraining order and she herself couldn't be in that close. You know, what is it, 50 yards or 100 yards? Yeah, we've already been talking about it already, Rebecca. See, what Rebecca just wanted to let everybody know is that she knows all about this one, right? So instead of just listening, and she says, "Good case. I'm keeping my mouth shut." Okay, so everybody, tell us all about it, Rebecca. How does the case go? It's just so obvious sometimes. How about you just let it go? Nobody, Let's see. So anyways, she had a restraining order against him, so she had the aunt pick up Bethany to take to the father because she couldn't do it. Yeah, know-it-all Rebecca. You got it. Let's see. According to Johnny, Bethany and Larry spent the weekend in both Gleason and a few hours away in Little Rock, Arkansas. Johnny said she spoke with her daughter on Sunday morning, March 4th, around 9:38 a.m. Sunday morning, the phone rang, Johnny said. It was Bethany. Johnny told Dateline that she remembers her daughter asking, "I'll see you at 5 p.m., right?" And Johnny said, "Yes." Okay, so that was, let's see, around 9:38 a.m. Sunday morning, the phone rang, Johnny said. It was Bethany. And then Johnny told Dateline that she remembers her daughter asking, so that means Bethany said, "I'll see you at 5 p.m., right?" And then Johnny replied, "Yes." And her sister had planned to pick Bethany up from Larry at 5 p.m. in Waverly, Tennessee, and bring her back home to Nashville. Johnny says, so again, the aunt had to pick her up because she couldn't be within a certain distance of him because she had filed a restraining order against him. Johnny said she told her daughter she loved her and hung up the phone. But that evening at 5 p.m., according to Johnny, her sister could not get in touch with Bethany or Larry. Her sister tried calling Larry, but there was no answer. Johnny says Larry eventually called back and told them he and Bethany had stopped at the Old Hickory Mall in Jackson, Tennessee around 2:30 p.m. that afternoon. According to Johnny, Larry said he was taking a nap in the car when Bethany went into the mall alone. So that was right around like 2:30. Nope, I can't see you, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock. Nope, you're absolutely invisible. Oh yeah, Richard? All right. Okay. So let's see. At that evening at 5 p.m., according to Johnny, your sister could not get in touch with Bethany or Larry. Her sister tried calling Larry, but there was no answer. Johnny says Larry eventually called back and told them he and Bethany had stopped at the Old Hickory Mall in Jackson, Tennessee around 2:30. According to Johnny, Larry said he was taking a nap in the car when Bethany went into the mall alone, so he didn't see her go in then, right? Larry would later tell authorities that when Bethany did not return, he went inside the mall to look for her. After what he said was hours of searching, Larry was unable to find Bethany. Dateline was unable to reach Larry for his recollection of events for this report. Larry reported his daughter missing to mall security, and at 6 p.m. that evening, the Jackson Police Department was notified. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation agent Kathy Ferguson, who worked for Jackson Police at the time Bethany disappeared, told Dateline she remembers searching the mall for Bethany. Thanks, Rebecca. You're so cute. You're so funny. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having doubts that she ever made it to the mall. That's what I was saying a little while ago. That it just seems like a weird story. Like, you take her to the mall, you finally get visitation, you take a nap, and then apparently she went in the mall when you took a nap. And then she never came back. Let's see. Johnny, her sister, and brother-in-law headed to the mall that night to join Larry in the search for Bethany. Johnny said she hoped maybe she was just hiding. Maybe they got into an argument. Maybe she's just scared, but Bethany was nowhere to be found. Agent Ferguson said that after conducting interviews and looking at store security videos, investigators were not able to corroborate that Bethany was even at the mall. There you go. See? That's what I was wondering earlier. So that wasn't in those. Looking at store security videos, investigators were not able to corroborate that Bethany was ever at the mall. See? On March 6th, 2 days after, what would be interesting is to, if they had parking lot video, is to see if his car was at least parked there. But then if they have that video, what's going on, Chloe? Jesus. You all right, Chloe? You just sort of fell out of the... Chloe, come here. She just sort of fell out of her bed over there. Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if they have video of the car in the parking lot. On March 6, 2 days after Bethany was reported missing, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation became involved with the case to broaden the scope of the investigation and utilize more resources. Agent Ferguson said everything was vetted out and run to the ground in 2001, including any tips, leads, or information they had initially. The TBI was only able to confirm to Dateline that Larry Bethany had indeed been in Arkansas for part of the weekend visiting a friend of Larry. So that's it. Agent Ferguson said that while Bethany's disappearance is ongoing, investigation, no suspect or persons of interest have been named in the case. Tips do still periodically come in. I mean, Larry's not a person of interest? Man, he's a total person of interest to me. That's just me, though. I mean, even right there, they're admitting that there's no evidence that he ever went into the mall, but that doesn't mean... See, here's the thing. He says he took a nap, right? She could have been abducted before she got into the mall by somebody else. So that's definitely something that exists and an out for him. So he took a nap. She heads to the mall, but gets abducted before she even got into the mall. But then it's also weird that, why would you be letting your daughter that you barely get to see just sort of randomly be walking around and you're taking naps? Seems like you'd want to spend every minute with her. What are you talking about, Zozo? Yeah. Bethany Markowski would be 29 years old today at the time of her disappearance. Bethany was 4'8" and weighed 95 pounds. Now, they didn't say they saw her at all. They have no evidence of her being in the mall. Did you not hear that part a minute ago? Yeah. So, anyways, who knows where she went? Did Larry do something, go to the mall, and then just make it look like that? Who knows? Yeah, it doesn't say it in it, though, Zozo. Yeah. Oh, this is one of the ones you sent with that weird account name? Yeah. Yeah. It says right here, Agent Ferguson said that after conducting interviews and looking at store security videos, investigators were not able to corroborate that Bethany was ever at the mall. Okay? So reading that, at that point that they don't even have any proof that she was even at the mall. Doesn't mean, they didn't say in the mall either. They said at the mall. That could be outside in the parking lot. That could be in the mall. They just don't have any evidence whatsoever. There wasn't a soul that saw her walking around. So that's not good. We seem like we've hit a lull here. You guys got to remember, We're raising the funds for the end of the month, okay? And my channel. We've donated $18,000 so far. And here we go. We'll go through them again. The Innocence Project, $1,400. Kyron Horman Foundation, $2,700. The Wounded Blue Fund, $500. The DNA Dope Project has got $2,800. Probably have to boost that one up this month. Rain, the $1,500. Rain is for the violence against women. They fight against that. And then Nick Meck, that one went by too quick. Libby and Abby, we just did $500 last month. And then Texas EquiSearch, $5,000, but I think I'm going to send some money into that one this month. So there you go. And what was the Nick Meck is $2,600. That's the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And then we've got the thanks, Zozo. Boy, that I'll try to get my see if that can fit into that yeah, let's get it, freaks. Yeah, I mean, I think Larry would be a prime suspect. If there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that she made it to the mall, how could he not be the main suspect? Because that means that Larry just sort of made it up. I mean, you could say that she was abducted just after she left the car and nobody had a chance to see her. But what are the odds of that? Like 1 in a jillion, right? Hey, thanks, Stadio Caspian Horses Rock and Swerves. What does that mean, by the way? Is that just a word that you invented, or? Yeah, he's probably always been a suspect. But it's been 19 years now. And here's the thing. If he did something with her, and they don't have a clue where she is, she's gone, he's not going to say anything. This is one of those really difficult ones to find unless somebody just stumbled upon wherever she might be. You know, I mean, I guess there's a chance that she just ran away because she hated dealing with the crap and she's out there, but that's really, those things are really rare, that somebody ran away and then all of a sudden they show up years later. Oh, that's not true, Gray. I saw this case last... Yeah, it's still rare, though, okay? Hey, thanks, Brianna. Hey, that's good for me. It all helps. The same percentage at the end of the month goes. So, like, if everybody did $1, it's the same thing, right? I mean, problem is, everybody doesn't do one. Yeah. So, hey, okay, now, where are you, Rebecca? What else is out there? What else you got on this one? Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to the next yard sale. That's all right. Switching over to a missing persons case, Matthew Nyhammer, 24. I don't really know, much about this one, but we'll just read the 2 articles that I have and see what we can figure out. But thanks, Brianna, and thank you, Swerves, and thanks, Stadio Caspi vs. Rock, and thanks, Zozo. All right, so this is the guy right here, Matthew Nyhammer. I think wasn't this in Pennsylvania? Let me see. No, New Jersey, I think. So it's somewhere out in this area here. Matthew Nyhammer hasn't been seen since his girlfriend dropped him off near White's Bog. Let's go get that one. White's Bog General Store. And there we go. I think that's it. Man, out in the middle of nowhere. Let me put this guy. I'm going to make a folder. Who knows? Matthew Nyhammer. And this is called White's Bog General Store. And he was there on November 2nd. According to Michelle Jackson, a family friend. Nyhammer was reported missing the following day. Pemberton Township Police Lieutenant Jason Waters said Monday. Friends and family have been looking for Nyhammer since Jackson said. His book bag was found in a wooded area near the store the following day, with his laptop, a hat, and other personal items scattered about, she said. Wow. That's pretty weird. I wonder if there's a... Let's see what that looks like. Look at that. Just barely has street view on there. It stopped right at the end of the street. So he was at this little out in the middle of nowhere store. Right there. White Bog's General Store. Friends said, let's see. Friends and family have been looking for Nyhammer since, Jackson said. His book bag was found in a wooded area near the store. Let's see where that is. Yeah, probably right over here. Either there or over here. But this would be a place that would likely be searched right away, not way back here. So I would think in here, maybe. And so it had a laptop, a hat, and other personal items scattered around. But I don't think it would have been... Obviously, it's not robbery at that point, right? Because they didn't... Hey, try that again, Zozo. I think I had something turned off. They wouldn't have left the laptop. It seems like it was... Something happened to him, almost like somebody... I wonder why he was dropped off there. Was he there to meet somebody? We asked everybody he knows. We've asked family he's close with, who he keeps in contact with on a daily basis, that now he hasn't been... Let's see, daily basis that now he hasn't been. He literally just vanished. A former Beechwood resident, Nyhammer is 5'7", about 150 pounds, with brown hair, hazel eyes. His family is offering a $1,000 reward. Pemberton Township Police, as well as the State Police K-9 unit, have searched the area, Waters said. State Police have also deployed a helicopter to look for Nyhammer. We are still focusing our search around the White's Bog area now. However, we've received numerous tips of possible sightings from both around our town as well as in towns that we're working to verify. The last call Nyhammer made was 5:30 a.m. Tuesday to his girlfriend, Jackson said, adding that his phone apparently no longer has service. So was that the call where she gave him a ride out there? I think this is more recent. I think. Let's see. No, this one's more recent, but let's see what this one says. Are you talking about this case right here? Darlene and Fiber Sleuth? Okay, well, let's try to stick with the one that we're talking about. Yeah. All right, so authorities are seeking the public help in finding a man who was reported missing November 2nd in Burlington County. Let's see, he was last seen in Whitesbog area, Brown Mills, but family members said he's originally from Manchester. A missing person poster said Nyhammer has ties to Beechwood, where his girlfriend lives, and family members told Patch he has ties to Brick Township. I don't know. This is one of those ones where somebody just disappeared. Let's see. Well, if anybody has any information, call 609-723-8300. This would be one that'd be interesting to talk to a family member or something, because it just seems like there's nothing. These are the latest articles. You're not in any timeout or anything. I'm just saying it's weird how you guys just how do you end up bringing up other stuff when we're talking about this one? You know, try to give the cases we're talking about a little, you know, attention, a little respect, that kind of thing. Well, this just happened. November 2nd is when he went missing, this guy. Yeah. Just 9 days ago, I guess. Okay, I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, so I actually had a freak family member named Karen. Not Karen K, but another Karen. And she sent in, she has her true crime story. She sent it in, and she wrote it out. So I'm going to play the like a reading of it using my reading software. It has like an Australian accent or whatever the hell it is, maybe British. Maybe I think it's British, actually, UK. But I'm just going to play it because it's, you know, it's a female's voice, and I'm not going to use Mary Lou to read it. Okay.
You know, you guys wouldn't want this voice reading it the whole time anyways, would you?
Probably not. All right, so here we go. Let me turn this music down. It's pretty crazy, actually. Scary as hell. This is exactly like, it's very similar, the feeling you get as the one we had last night by Lee. I don't know what I can't remember how to say that name. If you're still out there. Yeah, there's probably is only 139 here. Yeah, we got I got shut down for a few minutes there, and that's probably all that came back. Plus, there's a lot of people that get, they're triggered by certain conversations, if you talk about this or that. And I see 143 watching. Let's see. I gotta open this. There we go. Yeah, 140. Sure. When was he found dead? Just now? Today? Oh, okay. Well, you're the one that sent it to me. You probably should have sent me the update. Oh, there you are. Yeah, this is kind of similar to the one from last night. Okay, let me check. Okay, now that story turned into something bigger. Well, do you have a link for it? Oh, shit. I'm just going to... Sending me screenshots doesn't do anything. I need a link. Matthew Nyhammer. Okay, so, I mean, all the way up until today, earlier in the day, he wasn't alive, right? So, your life was taken very short from us. I can't even breathe. You were my best friend. Looked up to me. Or I'm going to go try something else. Hold on. I'm going to get to that other story here in a minute, though. Okay. Let's see. Your life was taken very short from us. I can't even breathe. You were my best friend in the world. You looked up to. My heart is shattered in a million pieces. My soul. Okay. What to say up here? I don't know. These are. It's just. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever type stuff like this in that situation. I wouldn't even be on Facebook or anything. I know we don't see each other, but I lost my brother too soon. Oh, this is just a friend right here. This one, it looks like maybe a sister there, maybe. Much anger I haven't. Let's see. So I promised everyone I would keep my mouth shut because they know how much anger I have in me right now, but I can't keep quiet, so hopefully she sees this because this is for her. I want her. I bet the girlfriend then. Exactly how I'm feeling because of you. I haven't slept or eaten because of you. My brother, my best friend, my homie is missing. I want you to rot in jail. I want you to know what it's like to have someone missing. I added it to the photos. You're only... Whoa, Jesus. Look at this whole damn thing here. Let's see. You're nothing but a manipulating psycho who knows how to make people believe your lies. You had my brother believing them. Now you have the cops believing you. Stop calling every single day about my brother's case, wondering if we found anything. I don't want you to know anything about his case. I heard from people who stopped being friends with you that you're nothing but a manipulating psycho. That's why everyone stopped talking to you. I told my brother from day one since I met you that you're no good. I kept getting bad vibes from you. You keep changing your story. You don't even remember what my brother was wearing, but you remember what he had with... See, this is what I'm saying. So the girlfriend drops him off. Was there somebody else, waiting there maybe? Because she's the last one. And why drop him off at that weird place? And how do we even know he was dropped off there? Other than the fact that they found those items there. That might have just been part of the story, right? You don't ever remember what your brother was wearing, but you remember what he had with him, which we found, there you go, in the Whitesbog Suspicious right there. See, there you go. That's exactly right. See, the items that were found were just put there as sort of a ruse, and then she said, oh, I dropped them off there, and then it looks like, oh, he was abducted right there, because that's, that's what I thought reading it, right? But now it looks like that was just sort of a setup, and then he might be... I bet you he was found, if wherever he found him wasn't anywhere near here, right? You don't even remember what the brother was wearing, but you remember what he had with him, which we found in Whitesbog Suspicious right there. You told my brother, half-sister, what does people think I know when she asked you what you know? You blocked her. You blocked my whole family. You blocked all my friends. You even blocked my brother, your own boyfriend. Then you deleted your whole account. Everyone who knows my brother has been out every single day to look for my brother. Family, friends, even his ex-girlfriends. But you have not showed up. You got caught leaving White's Bogs the day he went missing. with another guy in your car. There you go. You got, so maybe he was found out in that area. You got caught the next day when my brother asked you to pick him up. Oh, okay. So you guys can search. Oh, it must be another brother together. You told him you can't because you have to pick up your kids. But when he showed up to Whitesbogs, he saw you once again with a different guy. Both types, you were acting nervous and suspicious. When someone called you to find out what exactly that happened, you kept putting her on mute and acting really weird. Tell the damn truth for once in your life. You want us to leave you alone? Then tell us the truth. The only reason you're cooperating with the detectives is so that you don't put all the blame on you. Stop playing the victim. My brother is the only victim here, not you. I would put more, but I can't right now because just putting this is pissing me off. So if anyone wants to, they can put more in the comments. I want her to know exactly how everyone is feeling. She was the last one who seen my brother. I want her to be put on blast. I have to understand how beaten down mentally I was from him, okay? I've literally lost myself trying to F and be with him. I wish I could have done it differently, and I'm blaming myself, but how long can I go on like this? Trust me, I don't... This must be what the girlfriend wrote. I couldn't change him, dude, because he would have changed if he wanted it. And his family actually was around when they could have helped him. He was hella depressed. I found a white Chevy Blazer nearby in the woods the other day. It had no tags and was obviously abandoned. Okay, huh. So, where's like isn't there a newspaper article on this yet? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about where he was found, but I'm gonna move on now. So he was found. Let's see if we can get some updates in the morning. Pretty crazy. I wonder what the actual reason is of what happened to him. Like, what was the whole point? Just to get him out of the way? Like a new guy that just didn't want him around, or what? Yeah, still searching for him in that one. Yeah, some of you really are long-winded. I'll tell you that right now. Man. I mean, some of the emails I get. Whew. I should just print it off, put a hard cover on it, and sell it on Amazon. How are they being insensitive, Gene? Who's being insensitive? What happened? Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like, you know, the sister probably knows a hell of a lot more than what we know. That's why she was going off like that. But she is the one that dropped him off at the at that store, and then he goes missing from that very store, apparently. Or at least she claims she dropped him off at the store. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the hell happened. We don't know. I'm just reading what the sister wrote. No, well, I wasn't referring to yours. Yours aren't what the ones I'm talking about. Oh, I wasn't putting down the length of it. I read the whole thing. Who cares? All right, you guys want to hear this story that Karen, one of the freaks, sent to me? And I put it to voice. Here we go.
I have decided to share my true crime story with you.
So I'm using a reader accent. So don't go, oh, I don't like that. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. Zozo will type it in just because I said don't do it. But just listen to it, because I don't want to read it with my voice, because it sounds better when it's read by a female. All right, here we go.
I have decided to share my true crime story with you. I was sexually assaulted by a stranger on the Appalachian Trail in 1984. I know that there was a very short blurb written about my assault in the New York Times sometime shortly after May the 9th, 1984. It was just a paragraph, and one thing I remember about the article is that they got my age wrong. I was 21, but they said I was 22. I found out about the article when we visited the Appalachian Trail Conference in Harper's Ferry, WV, as we made our way up the trail. The trail conference people knew about me and what had happened, and I think they showed someone I was hiking with the article, and later he showed it to me. On my 21st birthday, May the 2nd, I began hiking the Appalachian Trail with a female friend I had known since early childhood, and a male friend whom I just met a few months before. We started at the south end of the trail at Springer Mountain, Georgia. My friends' names are Renee and Jim. Jim and I were planning to hike the whole trail, but Renee was only going to hike for 1 week. The first week of the trail, the three of us were together. We had dropped Renee's car at a point that we thought we could make it to in 1 week's time, so on May the 8th, late in the day, we got to Renee's car. We stayed at the intersection where her car was that night, but I can't remember the details of that particular location, like what the name of the road was or whether there was a trail shelter there or not. But that probably isn't relevant anyway. Jim and I said goodbye to Renee on the morning of the 9th. Just as a note, during the week we had all been hiking together, we had met quite a few other people who were also beginning a through hike of the Appalachian Trail. Jim and I hiked the whole day of May the 9th, just the two of us, until about 5 p.m. when we came to a road crossing that was about 12 miles outside of the town of Hiawassee, Georgia. When we got to the road crossing, Jim and I started talking. He told me that he wanted to leave the trail and go back to Michigan. We talked for a while at the road crossing parking lot. A man drove up in a light blue American-made van, 60-72 model. I would estimate the man to have been aged 35 or so. He was drinking beer out of a can when he was talking with us. He offered to take Jim down to Hiawassee, where Jim could get a bus back to Michigan. I felt like since I had already met people who were hiking the whole trail, I could get to the next shelter, 5 miles up the trail, by the time the sun went down. So Jim went with the man in the blue van, and I started hiking to the next shelter, which I think was 5 miles away. I hiked north for about 2 hours. It was dusk. I had stopped along the way and found some water to bathe in, a creek or a pond, I can't quite remember. I didn't see anyone else on the trail that whole time. It was a forested area with a lot of dry leaves on the ground. So I was hiking along and I heard a voice say, "Karen," and my red flags went up. I looked back and the man who had driven Jim down to town was behind me about 20 feet. Apparently I had told this guy my name. He said, "I'm here to rape you." I started running and decided to fling my backpack off. I also screamed as loudly as I could in case I was close to the shelter and someone might hear me. I screamed several times. He grabbed me. He didn't have a weapon as far as I know. I am not really sure how long I tried to fight him off. He got me down on the ground and I was down there for a second, but then I kicked him in the face with my hiking boots and took off running again. He grabbed me again and pushed me against a tree and said, "You better stop fighting or I'm going to tie you to this tree and hurt you real bad." He had a southern accent. At that point I was really terrified and felt like my only option was to let him rape me. I changed modes and became compliant with him, but the whole time he was doing things to my body, my consciousness became removed from my body and I felt like I was hovering above looking down at what was happening to me. I was praying to God that he wouldn't kill me. I thought about how my parents would never know where I was or what had happened to me. The strange thing was he started talking to me saying, "I like all my girls to look like this," complimenting my body, especially my stomach. This went on for maybe 10 minutes. To my great relief he left me, finally, saying, "Don't tell no one." I didn't have any major physical injuries afterwards. I picked up my backpack and ran to the shelter, which as I remember wasn't that far, I would say under 1 mile. He went the other way back to where the van was parked. If you think about it, he had to have run a total of at least 8 miles to get to where I was and back to the van. The last part of his trek was in the dark. I ran to the shelter, and it was pretty dark by the time I got there. I told the people there what had happened, but I just said I was attacked. The next day 2 of the guys, Carl and Carl, hiked back out to the road with me so I could report the crime. We went down the road towards town and knocked on someone's door and asked if they would call the police. The sheriff drove up to us and asked what was going on and I said I was raped. Carl said, "You didn't tell me you were raped, you just said you were attacked." The sheriff said, "That's kind of hard to prove." Carl and Carl stayed with me. They were really nice guys. Carl was 22, and Carl was 26. I told the sheriff about Jim, and even though he had already gotten on the bus, they were able to go find him at one of the stops and bring him back to here ways. Jim and I helped create the police sketch of the man. They did a rape kit on me in the hospital. Jim and I drove around with the sheriff for a long time that day trying to find the blue van, but it didn't seem to be anywhere around town. We went back to the trail the next day, Carl, and I. I never heard from law enforcement again. Not to minimize the harm done to me because I do think it was monumental, I have always considered myself to be a very lucky person to have survived this attack. If he had wanted to, he could easily have killed. I have decided to share my true crime story with you. I was
well, it said it could have easily killed her. That's how it ended. You got cut off right there, but yeah, that's crazy, huh? I mean, just think how wild that is. She's out there hiking with a friend and another guy on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. And they're hiking, and then one of her friends left, and then it was just her and Jim. And then Jim at one point said, I'm going to go head back to, I think it was Michigan, I thought. So there was the guy they ran into that had a gray van, and he said, "Hey, I'll give you a ride to the bus station, Jim." Well, then right at that moment, that guy knew that Karen was going to be alone at that moment. So then he drives him to where that bus station is, and then gets back there, and he must have really hustled, because apparently you can't drive to where they were. He had to go down that trail. I was actually nervous when I was listening to the story originally, thinking that something happened to Jim. Like right after that, he just killed Jim and threw him in the bushes, but apparently he actually made it to the bus station. The police actually went and got him, brought him in. He helped identify him. But she's out she's walking on her own. And, through the conversation, he knew what her name was. And then she's in a creek, cleaning up a little bit. And then that guy shows up behind and says her name. Oh, my God. How creepy. Yeah, well, it's weird because she went... What's weird is she made it to that camp. And it's almost like, man, if people had just got right then, they could have driven back and intercepted the guy at his van because he had so much further to go. He had, what was she saying, about 8 miles or something like that? Or, no, he went 3 and then 5. So 5, he had 5 miles to go back. No, 3 more miles to go back, I think, to where the van was parked. But anyways, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, she did what I've said that people should do often. If you're not trained and you're not just some absolute martial artist, probably one of the best ways that you can get out of a situation like this is to comply and actually pretend like, oh wow, you're so great, and like you actually like the guy. I know it's hard and creepy, and it's like, no man, we should kick it. If you want to die, the best chance of dying is to fight the guy. Okay, because the other way, he might think, oh wow, she actually likes some weird way, and you might get out of it. Okay, I don't know if you guys have if you don't have a weapon or anything like that, if you don't have mace or a gun or anything like that, can you think of a better way to get out of a situation? I think what she did was absolutely right. I think she literally chose the smartest way out of that situation. Yeah, you have to pretend you care and like, wow, you're awesome. How come you don't, it's just, God, it's brutal. I don't know how anybody could even act like that when I say act, I mean literally acting when you're in that situation. So, anyway, I thought that was really crazy. And then, let me get my music playing again. There we go. Yeah, okay. So after that, I was trying to find her. I couldn't find that one little paragraph because New York Times isn't even on newspapers.com. But, I randomly came across these other instances, on the Appalachian Trail. This one was hard to read. So I'm not even going to read that one. But that was 1984, actually. But in a different part on the trail. Same year and everything. But this guy isn't the same person, she said. The man had dark brown shoulder-length hair and a full beard. Dark complexion, freckles on his face. She said that doesn't sound like him. The woman was retreated and released at a memorial hospital. So again, this person was let go. But it's a whole different story there. It's not the same one. And then I found this other one. Man fled rape investigator. This one was kind of interesting. State police charged a man with fleeing from a trooper who wanted to question him about a rape on the Appalachian Trail. This is 1998, though. Terry Alvin Boose, 33, was arrested Tuesday in Cumberland County as a result of a search that began Monday, said Corporal Kenneth Hassinger. A trooper using a composite sketch of the rape suspect attempted to question Booth, but the man fled. Booth, who police said has no known address, was charged with escape. He also was wanted in connection with the theft and criminal mischief charges in Adams County. State police investigators from Franklin County were questioning Booth in connection with the rape. Booth was being held in Carlisle. A 28-year-old woman reported that she was raped June 3rd while walking alone on the Appalachian Trail near Waynesboro. And that says Sheriff K-9 flushes fugitive from forest. So he escaped. Hey, thanks, Fiber Sleuth. Yes. A coffee wave. Or, make it a double latte, something like that. Listen, I know there's some nights where you guys don't like me. I wasn't cool. He was grumpy and all that, but hey, it's all the same. We're a big freak family here. And some nights, some days, it's like Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah? You might argue with somebody, And then later in the evening, you're not arguing with that person. It's just the way it is. All right. But it's weird. It almost feels like there isn't anybody in here right now that isn't a channel member or moderator. So it makes me think that something happened after I got disconnected where it didn't continue to... Don't you think that's weird? A little bit? There's only like one person in here that isn't a channel member or moderator. Well, thanks, Fiber Sleuth. It was a pretty short wave. Oh, there you go. There's Berserker Loci. Well, you got to drink it. Look at it. Oh, that's for me. Okay, cool. Oh, I guess you guys just don't type then. Okay. That is me. One of a kind. Right? That's me. See the visor, the goatee, the... And it's really just paint off of a lock, but it looked like me. Oh, that's right. Stay in timeout, Darlene. Okay. So a 33-year-old man was arraigned Tuesday in connection with a June 3 rape along the Appalachian Trail. Terry Alvin Boost, 33, was charged with 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, 1 count of aggravated indecent assault. Yeah, so he's being chased for a couple days. Let's see what this one in 1999 said. Suspect won't undergo second DNA test. Franklin County District Attorney Jack Nelson will withdraw his request for a second DNA test on Gardner man accused of rape along the Appalachian Trail. Hey, thanks, Victoria Ballard. Nelson asked President Judge John R. Walker for a second DNA test on February 22nd. Anyways, this guy's in the system. I think he's... Let's see. No blood was switched at the hospital. Oh, that's right. Oh, I see. He's claiming that blood was switched, so they've got to do a second DNA test, and they're not going to do another test because they know that blood wasn't actually switched. So good. Yeah, he looks like... You know what I watched right before this show, by the way? Because I was thinking, Appalachian Trail and all that. So I was thinking of, Deliverance. And then I just happened... And then I was watching a John Voight post that he made tonight on Twitter about the election. And then I thought, oh, John Voight, man. Synchronicity. He was in Deliverance. So then I watched that whole scene... Squeal like a pig one. Oh, my God. What a nightmare that is. Jesus. It's crazy. Hey, thanks. Gene Fish. Is that bail? That's bail for Darlene? Okay. Yeah, it is a good movie, Jennifer. I think that... what's his name? Burt Reynolds' character dies in that movie, I think. Maybe I'm in jail now. Hey, that's the that's a good sound effect for that, isn't it? Boom. Push them at the same time. Because I've been so mean.
Gray, you were so mean tonight. There were people that were just trying to...
Hey, how come you're so upset, Mary Lou? I mean, it wasn't you.
I know, but just watching, it was so mean.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's too bad. Yeah, where is Lee D? Well, Lee D, though, she keeps me in there. It doesn't. She never gets me out.
Gray isn't really mean. He just runs a tight ship.
If that's what you call it.
Well, that is what I call it. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
I thought, like, at the, like, he got shot. That's right, he barely lived. That's right, he got hit with the arrow and they got him out of there. Oh, the guy that died was the guy that was in Beverly Hills Cop. That guy. I can't remember his name, but he's the one that died. Oh, cool. All right, thanks, you guys. Let me get out of here now. Sweet. Oh, God. Hey, that time you got me out of... well, that was Layla, not... Okay, cool. Thank you. You got me out. So anyways, that pile of crap right there, he got, you know, I'm not sure how much time he got in prison, but... Apparently you don't want to go hiking on the Appalachian Trail anytime soon. Or at least not in between 1984 and 98. Okay. Which you can't do because that would actually involve time travel. But I wouldn't want to go there anyways, mainly because I've seen Deliverance, right? Yeah, hey, thanks everybody. Keep the flow going. You know. Next year I'm not going to be I mean I'll try to donate as much, but I'm not going to. This year we did 20,000. And it gets frustrating I don't like having to talk about it that much, you know. But it became this obsessive goal. Yeah, they're still breeding. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. It's a pretty long trail, though, isn't it? Oh, yeah. And now, where did she go? Lil Lay. Man, you need an easier name to say. I'm sure you're still out there, though. Yeah, so this one is involving a serial killer. And remember that case we found last night? Because we were looking up cases that might have been related. Well, it turns out that the Charlotte Schmoyer one there's 3 people that were killed by the same serial killer. And he was one of the youngest serial killers there ever was. Or maybe I'll keep this for a different night. Yeah, too much data. Yeah, it's a cool name. It's just hard to say it. You know? Yeah, Laura Lee, you know, like Lorelei Lee. Yeah, that's too hard. Yeah, I know it's Lori Lay Lee. It's just too hard to say. Nope, you're wrong, Zozo. That's not how you say it. That's how Darlene said it. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, does anybody want to call in for anything? I can set up Zoom. Yeah, there he goes, right there. Poor Zozo. Like ukulele. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Well, the number isn't live yet. I haven't even... That number doesn't work. That's up on the screen. Maybe I'll set one up, though. Here we go. Yeah, why not? Zoom, is that one? No. There you go. Okay, that number works. There you go. Okay, there we go. So if anybody wants to call in about anything at all, really, you know, you want to bitch and moan, go ahead. Layla, my Layla. Didn't Layla show up on Halloween? I don't even remember now. Why would you have to call earlier to tell your story? I hope it's not a long one. Jesus. Man. Usually when they're long, they kind of lose, you know. It's got to be, I don't know what you call it. Less wordy, I guess. I'm sure you can call in and do it. Hey. It'll only take, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to tell it? You got the time. Come on, Layla, my Layla. Come on, Layla, my Layla. Well, I like long ones that are, the whole time there's a point to them. The ones that wander off into... Oh, wait, first let me tell you about the friend that I had that went to... oh, yeah, well, she bought me a blue shirt, but I didn't wear it that day. It's an interesting story there. Yeah, but we went on to the... yeah, it just... You know. I know it's sort of a guy-girl thing, like my mom, whenever she's... What do you mean no video? What happened? What happened? What do you mean no video? What happened? You know, when I ask my mom will go, Gray, check it out. Oh, Gray, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. And I'll say, what? And she'll go, well, I mean, first of all, I got up in the morning and I stepped out of the bed and I stepped into some dog crap. And then it took me a while. Oh, yeah, I got this new hand sanitizer stuff that I was going to use to wipe up the dog crap off my feet. And then I couldn't find it, so I reached over there. Then the hand sanitizer bottle fell into the crap that was on the ground. But I was able to roll it out and then pull the hand sanitizer out and wash the piece of crap off the ground with it, okay? Then eventually I had to get up in the morning, and then I was making some toast for Bill, you know, which is my dad. And, you know, I forgot that it was in there. Like, damn new toaster. I tell you what, we bought that over there at the Sears last week. And I tell you what, I'm going to return the damn thing, because when you turn the knob onto it, what we used to think was a 5, it burnt the shit out of the toast, okay? So then I had to cook his toast again. And then when I went to go grab the toast, there was only one piece of toast in there, and it's that last little part where it's the end on it, okay? So he doesn't even like that. So then I had to go to the store to go get the bread for him, okay? So I drive to the store, and then at that point I go, Mom, what's the, what's the thing that was really... She goes, I'm getting there. Okay, and then like an hour later, we get to a point where she got mad at some register person because they didn't give her, And everything I just said there, I made up. So that was a pretty good story, just as I was going, right? I mean, it was, especially, it sounded pretty real because I mentioned the end of the piece of toast. Yeah. That's right. See, and here's how a guy would tell the story. Oh, man. I walked into the store. I tried to buy a range, and it cost $19.99 on sale, and I gave her a $20 bill, a $50 bill, and she gave me no change back and said it was $49.99. And then we had to argue for a while, and eventually I got the money back. But what if, Okay, see how short that story was? Instead, what do you mean? The number's on the screen. It's right there. Can you guys not see the screen, or? What do you mean you can't see it? It's huge. It's massive. It's right here. I don't know what to tell you. It's about as big as I can, I'll make that part bigger, but man. Yeah, well, you have to... When did you send it, Lee D? Just now? I mean, I'll see my email when you send it. I check all my emails. But if I didn't see it, then I guess you have to send it again. I didn't see it. Probably have to send it again. grayhughes2@gmail.com. Was it one I was supposed to cover or something? Or, I mean, if you guys send me stuff and I don't do them, sometimes it's because I didn't really. It was like, yeah. I don't do every single one that somebody sends. Oh, look at that. The tip thing showed up on the screen. My email right after... Oh, no, Zozo did that. No worries, Mike. But send it to me again. I'll check it out. I don't know if I saw it. That doesn't even sound familiar to me. No worries, Mike. I get 9,000, mate. I got 9,000, mate. I'm saying that perfectly. You know it, too. I mean, it's just... G'day, mate. Yeah, it's like, mate. They don't really even say the... Yeah. It's perfect. And you know it, Zozo. It's absolutely 100% accurate. As a matter of fact, if I was working at the zoo, they would say, wow, that's legit. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. Yeah. That's right. It's like when... I don't know if it's absolutely the same. It's the... you know that sounds what? Let's see. Okay, let me hear somebody say it again. Let's see.
So, are you Australian?
Yes.
And when you greet someone, when someone comes up to say hello or whatever, what's your greeting? Like, what do you say to them?
G'day.
See? G'day. That's exactly what I say every single time. G'day.
You actually say g'day?
Yeah. Hello or hi or like hey. Actually, probably hey most commonly. Hello. Sup, bruh.
Sup, bro?
Yeah.
See, these are the younger, new, hip ones.
Wow, that sounds pretty American.
Oh, I say yo a lot, like yo. That's what I do to my mom.
I just say hey.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't say good day?
No.
How you going, mate?
How you going, mate? Yeah? Would you ever use good day? Or that's not really in your...
Yeah, I guess nobody does that anymore. That's hilarious.
How to get to the medical school. I'm supposed to be doing a lecture in about 20 minutes and my driver's a bit lost.
You go straight ahead and
Oh, that's not the one.
And how you go and you say good day.
Oh, forget it. Hey, well, you know what? You guys should call in and do it. Zozo, call in and do the accent. Legit bullshit. No, I'm saying it 100% accurately. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. You got any 9,000? And that's me all you score, mate. Okay, here we go. All right, 770. What's going on, 7?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear.
Hey, Ray, it's Layla, my Layla.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. You gonna tell you got a true crime story?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so nobody dies in this, and this is a quick one.
Okay, forget it then. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like 16, going on 17. So it's been a while ago. My best friend and I were coming from an area of North Georgia in a place called Hall County. And we were coming back from my mother's house. My parents lived about an hour and a half apart. And I want to say I was driving. And the car was giving us some trouble. So it had like overheated or something. So we pulled off to the side of the road. And hi guys, I see all of the hearts out there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You gotta. Well, here's the thing: you can't read the chat as you're telling your story because that always screws people up.
sorry.
Because
I just want to say hi to everybody.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm over it. So, at any rate, we pulled over to the side of the road when the car started to overheat. And this wasn't the best area, but it was off of a highway. And the highways aren't like they are now. So, they were highways, but they weren't like 4 lanes or anything. So, this guy stops and he says, oh, I see that you guys have some trouble with your car. Can I help you and whatever? So my best friend and I were trying to figure out who's going to stay behind and who's going to go. So we ultimately decided I would go with him to the gas station because one of us was going to have to walk if we didn't ride with this guy. Remember, this is in 1982 or 83. This is a while back. So things were a bit safer then, allegedly. But it was right after the Atlanta child murders. And that was, that had happened in Atlanta. So, but this is outside of Atlanta. So at any rate, I want to say this road was like 685, Highway 685. Or it might have been 985. But he takes me in his van or truck, I can't recall, up to this gas station. Everything goes fine. He says, what you need is water for your transmission, it's overheated.
So your car
We
broke
checked it
down,
out.
and this guy just sort of drove by and said, "Hey, you need some help," and then now he's driving you to a gas station, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And there were a lot of cars that drove by, but he stopped first.
And you were the only person by yourself?
It was me and my best friend were in the
Okay, so
car.
two
She
of-
stayed with it.
Oh, she stayed with the car. He took you, and he said, "Hey, you need some. Your transmission is what broke, and that we need some water to." Or
yeah.
Or was well, actually, transmission
Smoking.
doesn't need water. It's like usually the cooler,
Not transmission. What is it? The radiator.
yeah, the radiator. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah, it was radiator.
Yeah.
But she stayed, and the reason that she stayed is because he was from the area, and he said, "Look, somebody's got to stay. When you come back, you won't have anything left on this car if somebody doesn't stay." This is not a great area. There's a lot of crime in this area. So that's why we decided to stay, because we wouldn't have had a car. You know, there were no cell phones or anything at the time.
Seems like he was trying to separate
So-
you when he's by
Well, you know, and we didn't think about that at the time, but looking back, you'll see what happened. So we go, I go, she stays, I go, he tells her, lock yourself in the car and stay. So she does. I go, we go straight up the road to the gas station. I had money in my pockets. And he says, you don't need to pay for anything. You don't have to pay for water back in those days. He gets this gallon jug and blah, 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 blah. So we're coming back, and instead of circling and getting back on the highway, he heads another direction. And, you know, I'm pretty savvy. I grew up with rough brothers, stepbrothers. And I said, well, wait, I'll just get on out and walk back. He said, no, I'm going back. I'm just going back the access road because it'll be a lot easier than getting back on the highway.
Wow, jeez.
It's right here. It's all good. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, he knows what he's doing. But I'm nervous. I'm nervous. He gets back on this road, and it's not an access road. It's one of those dirt roads that clearly does not go to an access road. And it goes down off into this wooded area. And I'm freaking at this point. I mean, freaking.
Yeah.
And he's going slow, and he says to me, you know, you're old enough that you should know not to get into cars with strangers. And I mean, my heart is just pounding. I'm looking around without him trying to notice, looking around this vehicle for anything I could use for a weapon at this point. I'm thinking, I'm gonna have to do something here. So, and I'm reaching for the handle, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna jump out. And he says, I mean, you should know better. You know, I split you guys up. I gave you a bullshit story, and you believed it. And as pretty as both of y'all are, anything can happen. And so I'm thinking, okay, I can't show my fear here because I'm about to break into tears here. And I said, well, you're going to have to kill me because I'm going to die fighting you. And I'm just telling you that's what's going to happen. And I'm about to jump out. And he said, hey, you don't need to panic. You're not worth dying for. And he takes me on back to the car. He drops me at the car. And he says, but if you're here, when I spin back around, I'll make it worth my whatever time. We filled that radiator up, and we got the heck out of Dodge. And I don't think I've ever panicked so hard in my life.
What a weird thing for him to... So he knew that you were like serious and you'd be causing some problems for him.
I think he knew that I was not going to just
roll over.
Yeah. I think he knew I was going to fight, and I was looking for a door handle, He knew I was one step from jumping out. We weren't real far from the car.
You think it's possible he was literally
to
just...
begin with.
Do you think it's possible? Because as you were telling the story near the end there, I was thinking this guy, he was just trying to teach a lesson. Like, hey, you know how it's done. Because he was telling you all the different things. Right?
I had creepy vibes from him.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could have been my imagination. I was a teenager. I was scared. But when I got back and got out, I was shaking. My knees were shaking. My hands were shaking. I mean, I'm shaking just reliving it.
Yeah. It sounds really creepy.
Really that.
Yeah, it's almost like it could have been that he's done it before, and you were just like, he just sort of decided against it, and then I don't know, it's bizarre to me that he was telling you all the things, like, I gave you a bullshit story, I separated you two, it's a little interesting.
But he dropped me off and he left. I mean, he didn't hang around and help, he left.
Yeah, and
he got out of there. And he did circle back around because we were pulling out and he was leaving.
Oh, man.
Because I was watching for him, like, hurry up, let's get this water in here.
Was this at night and there was nobody else around, or what?
No, there weren't a lot of cars on the highway back in those days. Like I said, it wasn't a great big highway, but there were a few that went by, but not a lot. But he did come back around. But when I got back to the car, my friend said, "Oh, thank God you're back." And she didn't hardly even get that out. And she said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'll tell you later. Let's get this going." And then when we got in the car and got going and everything, she said, "I'm so glad you're back." She said, "I had some creepy people stop." And I said, "Yeah, this place is crawling with, whatever. Let's get out of here." But when I got back and got home and called my mom's house to tell her and my stepdad what happened, my stepdad, first thing he said was, "Oh, God, that's a bad place to have broken down."
Yeah. It's kind of
there's all kind of bad people up in that area.
I mean, so what I just said a minute ago, like maybe he was trying to teach a lesson. People don't agree, some agree. Maybe it could be that he likes the fear that he caused in you.
It could have been. I never have pulled any stats from that area.
Jen wrote that.
But there is a jail up in that area called Alto.
Mm-hmm.
But to this day, that Hall County area is not a great area. But do I have any updates? Oh, that's something else.
Yeah.
But it was really kind of. I've had a couple of things like that happen to me, but that one right there was really, really just. And then when I read stories from that time frame about girls going missing and things like that, I think, my gosh, we could have been two of those girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
anyway, that's my story.
I mean, I've had, like I've told them before, but some people haven't heard them. But I've had two stories I have had that same fear. I think you had a longer time for it, but one was I was this basketball coach when I was a kid. He drove all the kids home because it was a day camp, and then I was the last one in the car. And then he kept driving. I was saying, "Okay, I live right here," and he just kept driving, and he didn't even seem like he cared that I said I live right there. And then at that moment, I started. It's weird. I don't even know why I was aware, because it seems like when you're young, you're kind of naive about shit like that. But I was like, I had my hand on the door, and I was just going to jump the hell out. And then just like about 2 or 3 minutes later, he turns around and goes up back there. But I always wonder, was there something in his mind? Because what the hell was he doing? And then I had the other one was where I was walking on the side of the road. This car pulled up to me and said, "Get in the car," with 2 other people. And I just turned around and ran as fast as I could. but during that, it just wasn't as long of a time that you had to deal with. But it's the same. Your heart's just pounding, and you got this weird feeling going through your body. It's strange. Adrenaline.
Well, I don't think I was in his vehicle maybe 5 or 6 minutes, but it seemed like an eternity.
Yeah, that's quite a long time, really. I mean, sit around and look at a clock for 6 minutes. It doesn't go. It takes a while.
And I didn't really know what to do. I mean, I didn't. When I told my dad about it when I got home, my dad said, "Well, I'm not quite sure that was the wisest thing to do."
Really, Dad? Thanks.
But it worked out okay. He said, you might should have just
what?
Just wait it out and not said anything and see what and then if he started to do something. I said, Dad, I didn't really know what to do.
What part was he saying? What part was he saying wasn't wise? What part?
Well, first he said getting in the truck with him or car with him was not wise. But then he said, when he started talking, to just say, "Look, I'm going to put up a fight," and blah 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 blah.
I thought that was wise. I think that was really wise.
Well,
I think that's.
Well, he said you could have angered him and he could have killed you. He said that could have gone the other way.
He was taking you. I mean, if he was there to do something bad, he was taking you down a dirt road with nobody's around. I mean, it could have been that he was just trying to. Maybe it was a dry run, or I don't know what the hell he was doing. It seems really weird. It's one of the only stories I've ever heard where you said something. The victim says something like, "I'm going to put up a fight," and he goes, "Oh, okay, forget it then." That just seems weird. It's odd.
He didn't really say forget it. It's like he just. It's hard to explain exactly what he said, but it was like. It's like something changed. Mm-hmm. And he said, we're gonna go back to your vehicle and if I come back around or whatever, and I can't.
What was he gonna do that time? What time of day was this again? I asked before, but I missed it.
It was in the afternoon. It wasn't dark.
Yeah, so there's cars driving around. What was he gonna do if he drove back around and you were still sitting there?
He said, if I drive back around and y'all are still sitting here, I'm gonna make it worth my while or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but what's he going to do with all these cars driving around? I mean, I don't know.
He didn't say.
See, it just seems like this guy that was around screwing around.
Well, there weren't. I don't know. Keep in mind, there weren't all those cars because we waited for a while before he ever came by.
Oh, so it was kind of desolate.
Oh yeah. It wasn't like it is now. I mean, we waited for a while before he came by, and then there were a couple of cars that came by, but it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was probably, I mean, I'm just saying he probably was gonna do something, but something you said changed the dynamics of it. But it could also be that he got off on, you could have been, like, how old was this guy?
I would say he was in his 30s, 40s.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been that he was trying to see if a technique works, but you weren't going to be the one because you were too strong-willed, and then so maybe he wasn't. I mean, his original intentions could have been bad, but you changed the calculus, I guess. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been looking for somebody that was weak, and he thought, well, this is not going to be worth it because her friend's already back over there, and this one's going to put up a fight. And
yeah.
We weren't far from my car.
See, what's weird is if he had done something to you, he probably would have driven back to and got your friend and said, hey, your friend, when she went to the store, she hurt her foot. Let me go take you to her, and then he would have done something to her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, yeah. That's a weird one, though. Never heard of anybody.
But I was ready. I had my hand on the handle. I was ready to jump out. I mean.
Well, here's a part of the story. Well, how about this? See, this part of the story makes me sort of think what I was thinking, that he wasn't really ever, possibly ever intending to do something to you. is because why did he take you to the store to get the jug of water when he could have just driven by the store at that point? Because he knew that, you know, as soon as he left the store going the other direction, that you knew that, okay, now we're not going back towards my car. You see? See, why did he take you to the store? Can you think of that? Like, why would he do that?
Well, when we went up the road and went to exit, you went straight to the store. The store was right there.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't you just drive by it though and take you to that road immediately?
You couldn't drive by it. You either had to turn there or go back left towards the highway.
Oh. Well, do you know where this is? Let's take a look at it. Do you know where it is?
I don't know if I remember which exit it is. I know back in this day, there was only one exit in Hall County.
What's the name of this? What town or like where was this?
It was right outside of Gainesville, Georgia.
Yep.
But it wasn't in the city of Gainesville, but it was outside of Gainesville.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of roads.
It was off of
what?
Off the road. It was off of whatever. I want to say it was called 985 at the time. I don't know what highway that is now.
Maybe it's still. Was it a state highway or 890? What?
Yeah.
985. You said.
I think it was 985 at the time.
I think it's still there. 985 right there. Yep. It's an interstate.
Yeah, it's much bigger now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't even know what direction or what town or anything like that.
Yeah, I was going south.
Okay, but do you know what town?
Towards Atlanta.
Uh-huh. Okay. Because it keeps going 985.
It keeps going what?
Well, it just keeps going
well,
south. But I mean, you don't know what, like, it must have been a little bit of a, I don't know if it was a town or was it just sort of a thing you can turn off and get some gas and.
You know. Yeah, it was like Gainesville, Georgia.
Yeah, but that's pretty big. That's a big one.
But it wasn't then. What's the city? What's the city just north of Gainesville, right there?
New Holland, right there.
No.
Cornelia.
I think it's Demorest.
That's all right. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much.
It's either Cornelia or Demorest.
But so he, you know, you're saying he went up this place to get the gas, but then he went back the way he came?
No. When you got off the exit, the best I remember, the gas station was right there. And then if you went right, there was almost nothing there.
How far were you from the gas station where the car was?
I could see it. It was up the top of the hill.
So you were just on the freeway, and you just need to go up, take an exit, and there's the gas station, right?
Yeah.
So he drove up there.
Yeah.
And then from, okay, so let's just pretend it's he drives north, goes up the ramp, takes you to the gas station, and then where directionally, what direction so he drives south again, like he's going back towards your car, right?
No, we were going south.
Right, I know, I don't really care. Let's just pretend what I'm saying here. So your car is parked right here, and then let's just pretend, okay? So you're here, and he drives north up to the ramp, gets the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, what direction would he go? Just do it spatially. What direction did he go then?
So then what he did was, instead of turning out of the parking lot, instead of turning and going left back to the highway, he went straight. And there was like this little, like it was going on an access road along the highway. opposite, like almost like a one-way the other way, but it wasn't an access road. It was like a little dirt road, like a road you would see beside a pecan grove or an orange grove or something. It's like one of those.
So, but why didn't he just take you there after he drove up the ramp? Just go straight there. Why did he go in and get a jug and fill it up with water and all that? That just part of a ruse? I mean, seems like he could have just taken you up the ramp and then gone down that road, right?
Well, he had to turn around to get to that. Anyway, he couldn't have just gotten there without turning around. He had to turn his vehicle around to begin with.
Yeah, but he could have gone up the ramp, turned around, and just went that way, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he didn't have to take you to the store. So that's the part that makes me go like, huh. Like, what part of the ruse did that... I mean, I guess it would have made you comfortable up until he's making the decision to go down this weird dirt road that doesn't... Because you'd think,
I don't know, Gray. I'm not psychotic, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why I'm trying to see if that maybe shows that he really did intend to get you back to your car with the water to put into the radiator. But he was just doing all this stuff as some kind of a... I don't know. I mean, it's probably most likely that he was going to do something and your words changed his mind. But it could be,
Well,
something else.
I remember when we went, he was making some inappropriate comments. Even going to the gas station. You know, when I say inappropriate, they were flirtatious for someone that was that much older than me. You know, about my legs. Your legs are pretty. Your legs are tan. Your blah, 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 blah. You know, things like that. And I was nervous then. I mean, I do recall saying to him, maybe they have the payphone here at the gas station. And I do recall saying that. So maybe he thought he had to go through with the ruse at the gas station so I wouldn't just use the phone and leave.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And, you know, in hindsight, maybe I should have.
Well, I mean, you can't really... It's hard to know.
Or maybe he made those statements when we just left the gas station. I don't know, it was a long time ago, but I do remember him making statements to the effect of that.
Like I bet. I mean, those 6 minutes or whatever were probably. I don't even know how you had the guts to say what you said. You know, about like.
Oh, I'm telling you what. I was shaking. I mean, I was trembling. I couldn't hardly hold. You know, I remember he had a vehicle that had one of those pull-up type door handles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old silver pull-up door handles.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I remember I was shaking, trying to grab a hold of it. And I know he saw me about ready to bolt.
How far down that dirt road did he get you? Was it starting to be a point where you couldn't see anything? Like
yeah, it was. It was veering away from the highway. It was getting away. It wasn't a straight line. It was like an S-ing off. And it was starting to get away from the highway. And I was freaking completely out. And I mean, if I had known what a panic attack was, that's probably what I was. I was probably about to have a full-blown panic attack.
What year was that?
It was either 81 or 82, because I graduated in 83. So it would have been, I'd say it'd be 82. And I did look in newspapers for a while to see if there was any crimes or anything that had happened up in that area.
Yeah, I'm just trying
And
to...
there were some rapes up in that area.
Well, it seems like that guy he knew the area. Let's say that's what he does. I mean, he had it all planned out. So this is one of those guys that probably, I don't know. I mean, I think he lived there. That's how he knew that there was that dirt road. There's no way. Does it seem like you'd have to know it to know that? Yeah, all right.
He had a tag from that area. I do remember that. Because I remember my friend wrote down his tag number when we left. When we left, I didn't know she did this. But she wrote down his tag number when he and I left.
Oops, I spelled that.
I mean, there were some smart things we did do.
Wait, what was that part you just said?
When he and I left to get the water, my friend had written down his tag number.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So there were some smart things that we did. Yeah, I would say to look in Hall County or that North Georgia area for any kind of assaults, rapes, or something. I bet you there's something. He may not have killed anybody, but I bet you there's some rapes.
Yeah, just gotta definitely... It seems like...
I don't think it would be it wouldn't have been in the OJC, the Atlanta Constitution. They didn't pick up stuff up there. It would have been somewhere else up north.
Well, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at newspapers.com. It just has whatever it has. I don't choose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely sounds like somebody that would have been doing that. You know, like if he did that to you and he let you go, he seemed like he obviously has done it before because he even told you the trick that he did. I gave you this bullshit story. I gave you I needed to get some, I separated you from your friend. So he even told you the ruse.
Oh, he told me point blank.
Yeah.
He said those words. I separated you from your friend, and I even told you a bullshit story. I'll never forget those words. I even gave you a bullshit story. Those are the words he used. He said, you and your friends should be more careful. He said, girls don't realize, or something to those effects. Girls don't think about it. You're on the highway. You don't think about it. You're traveling, something like that. And just anybody comes along. And you just get in the vehicle.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like I'm hoping that he was somebody trying to teach a lesson, but it's like,
No, it's not Gainesville, Florida now. That's Gainesville, Florida. It's Gainesville, Georgia.
Yeah, I know it's Georgia. I was done looking at that point.
Oh,
but
okay. Anyway, that's my story. It's just it was scary, especially right after we'd had the Atlanta child murders and everybody'd been up in arms about that.
Yeah, that's in that show on TV. Those FBI. What's the name of that?
Yeah, Wayne Williams still swears he didn't do it, and
Really, he was on the bridge where I forget it. He did it.
Yeah, well, he did a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you, I mean, that's if you believe. Oh well, somebody else did all the other ones. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, the fibers have lined up. There's too many people that have worked on fiber evidence. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me over here, did y'all give the plate number to law enforcement? No, we didn't call the police. We didn't do any of that. We just...
Yeah, I mean, what do you do at that point? It's like...
Yeah, back in those days, you didn't do...
Well, he also didn't do anything illegal at that point, right? He drove you, and then he drove you another way, and then he drove you a different... there wouldn't be anything that he could technically You know, you couldn't call it kidnapping because just because he drove a way that wasn't your way, you actually got into his car. See, everything was sort of, it's in his favor at that point. You got into his car, you know, and...
We got out of there. We got out of that area. It was a long time.
It might have been good to, like, warn him, though. Like, if you give the license plate and go, hey, this guy did this, then they might take another look at this, you know, maybe watch him a little bit. That might have been something they could have done. But.
Well, from that point forward, when I went up to see my mom, my stepdad met me halfway.
Yeah.
I was so freaked out. I mean, I just was... I'd have my stepdad meet me. Because I was just too panicked about it. I was real skittish for a long time.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in.
Story.
That was interesting. I know it's late over there, so now you can go back to sleep. Or go to sleep. Yeah, well, now you probably won't sleep because you'll be thinking about the story now, right?
Who, Layla?
What was that?
What did you say, Layla?
No, I said you're going to go to sleep and you'll be dreaming about this story that you...
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, I say...
Oh, I thought you were talking about Layla. No, Layla's my dog.
No, right. Layla, my Layla. You know, Layla, come here, Layla, my Layla. Yeah.
I've got another one named Nia.
What is your name?
Sleep here with me.
Or can you say what your name is?
My name's Terry.
Oh, Terry? Okay.
Yeah.
I probably won't remember that, but I'll remember Layla, my Layla.
Yeah. But I always use Layla, my Layla, because that's my dog, and that's my German Shepherd. And then my other one is a Brindle Lab. He's asleep here on my bed with me. But Layla's asleep in her room.
Yeah.
She's got her own room.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a German Shepherd.
Oh. Well, there you go.
She gets her own room if she wants it, because she guards the house.
Yeah. Well, cool.
So.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Right,
I know you was too late, but you did it anyways. You're a trooper. Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks. Everybody liked your story.
All right.
I mean, not like. But,
thanks.
Anyway, see you
Bye.
later. Yeah, what do you... I'm not sure how you say that. Great story. Wow, that was, that was fantastic. It's like, no, it's freaking scary as shit. I mean, that story right there is exactly what's happened to, like, literally thousands of people, but it didn't turn out that way. Right? So, anyways, you guys, I think that's going to be it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody showing up. I'll play some of this music. You guys can chill out and chat for a while. But thank you to, let's see. Oh, it was Amy Higg on PayPal and on Super Chats. There, just a second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy Higg. Miscus. Sapphire. Carolina Carla. Zozo. LM. As in Element Open. Zozo. Tadio Caspian Horses Rock. Swerves. Brianna CC. Fiber Sleuth. Berserker Loci. Victoria Ballard. Gene Fish, Jessica Schubach, Claudio Caspian Horses Rock, Darlene White, Layla My Layla.
Hey, I said Layla, my Layla. Come here, Layla. Layla, come here, Layla, my Layla.
Lee D. Tadio Caspian Horses Rock. Oh, jeez.
All right. And everybody, he looks like a Pomeranian over there. Or some kind of a... Everybody, make sure that you wash your hands, maintain your social distancing, and wear a mask whenever you can. Oh, man. Woo! Jeez. Got sneezing action going on. You like that one? That one? There we go. Yes, and if you too check down aisle number 37, you'll be able to find your own loaf of bread. And you can put that in your cart too. And after that, go ahead and find yourself some apples down the far aisle. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. And after that, why don't we go down the next aisle and get yourself some toilet paper. It's nice and fresh. You'll love it every single day. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. That was fantastic. Absolutely incredible.
What was?
I think he's talking about the show.
Yeah, I'm talking about the show, you idiots. Jesus.
Tick. It's like a clock on a dock with a rock and a buck and a nut. My name is Gary. It's not Larry, Terry, Sherry, or Nary.
Hey, was that for me?
Yeah, I was making up a rap about you.
Oh, that's really cool. Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Barry? No. Wait, where'd the music go? Oh, it's right here. Boom! That looks like Gary. It's not Gary or Jerry or Barry or Gary or Larry and Bear. You know.
No, I actually did make one of that, but I can't find it right now. It's this long thing. I'm gonna do it again though.
No, I can't, Zozo, sorry. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah, but I can answer for Gray. Well, Gray says no, that's what I'm saying. Jesus. What a maroon.
Maroon again? What the heck is that?
Look at all the freaks! Look at all the freaks! Boppity 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 boppity. I guess by now you can take a hunch. I guess that I am the baby of the bunch, but that's okay. I still we get fat. I'm in here to do what you do with it. You've been passing and on and on and on and on. Boppity 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 boppity. Don't test up, become alive, yo. Dilly and Dally ran through an alley, a bumped into the old girl Sally from the valley. Now this was a girl. That one actually worked. That's one of Gray's friends wrote when Dilly. A dilly a dally ran through a valley, bumped into my old girl Sally from the valley. You never really told me what dilly and a dally meant, but, you know. Well, slap my ass and call me Sally, like a dilly and a dally and a... Well, slap my ass and call me Sally. Well, slap my ass and call me Sally, Was she at home or at a rally? I don't know. Call her a pally. A Sally, rally, galley, nelly, little melly. Here comes the snorts. Why doesn't it work? Well, slap my ass and call me Pete. You just have to find something that rhymes with eat. Now slap my ass and call me Pete. Want some tuna and some bacon? I wanted to eat. Now slap my ass and call me Pete. Had some tuna and some bacon and I wanted to. Some tuna and some bacon. I just wanted to eat. My ass and call me Pete. Had some tuna and bacon, I just wanted to eat. I don't think that works. We can come up with something now. Do 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 little do. Hey Chloe, Chloe. Oh boy, there he is. You're too bright. Look at that. Hey. Hey, what are you guys doing out there? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Alright, everybody! I think Ray's gotta go now.
Yep. But yeah, you guys can still chat for a while. I'm just gonna shut down this side of it. Alright? Goodbye, everybody. Be safe out there. I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be.